What I'm going to tell you is brief, but it's no less horrible for that. When I was 9 years old, I lived in an apartment complex in a very central part of the city. The complex was pretty nice. Besides the buildings, it had a large green park that anyone could access. One day, I decided with my siblings to have a picnic in the park. At the time, they were 6 and 3 years old. Everything was going fine. It was a calm place, and we were allowed to be out there with not much supervision, just an occasional glance from my mother. But after a while, I saw a blue pickup truck driven by a man who seemed strange. He drove slowly along the side of the park, leaning his head and looking around with his gaze facing outward, as if he were searching for someone. Then he passed by. However, a few minutes later, he came back again, 3 or 4 more times, doing the exact same thing. So I took my siblings and went back to our apartment. I told everything to my mom, who had already warned me many times not to trust strangers and to always pay attention to my surroundings. She went out looking for him near the apartment and the park, but she found nothing, no trace of that man. At the time, we treated it like a scare, maybe a misunderstanding. Those were different times. That same day, by night, when we were about to sleep, we heard a commotion outside, neighbors shouting, voices, and what sounded like crying. My mother went out to see what was happening. She told us not to go outside. When she came back, she had an expression I had only seen once before, her eyes completely wide, like she was about to break down and cry. She was frantic. We didn't know what had happened. When my dad asked her what was going on, she told us that a neighbor had gone to the store only a few minutes earlier. Because the store was on the corner, close by, the neighbor had left her child in the park where my siblings and I had been earlier that afternoon. But when she came back, she couldn't find him anywhere, even though all the neighbors were searching desperately. They knocked on every house. They questioned people nearby. They shouted. They cried. They did everything to find the child, but there was nothing, no sign of him. No trace of that man either. Days later, people in the neighborhood started talking, and then it reached the news. They said there was a blue truck that seemed to be the main suspect in the disappearance of one of the kids from the area, the child my mother mentioned. Years later, I learned that they eventually carried out all the investigations and came to that conclusion. Even now, my mother carries the guilt of not warning anyone else back then. As I said, it was another era, totally different and more limited in communication. Cell phones weren't as accessible, so there was no easy way to talk face to face with the other neighbors about it, telling them one by one, warning them, alerting everyone in time. And yes, I still think about it too. What would have happened if I hadn't gone with my siblings the 3rd or 4th time I saw that truck pass by the park? Probably, to this day, like the other child, they would still be unable to find me. So tell me, have you ever lived through something truly terrifying like this, even if it wasn't necessarily paranormal?